What the heck is going on? I didn't want to start this podcast series on such a down note. I didn't want to start on such ridiculous, crazy, horrific stories, but that's the way this week's gone. It is Tuesday, the 28th of October, 2025, and today has just been a day of lawlessness. In my neighbouring borough, I live in Harrow, in Hillingdon, a dog walker has been stabbed to death and two others stabbed, including a child, by, yes, an Afghan illegal migrant who came in the back of a lorry and was granted asylum and leave to remain. Now, what's most annoying is the BBC's headline says dog walker dies in triple stabbing as arrest made. That's it. Whereas I have just given you far more detail than you would get just from that headline. And the thing is as well, I was coming home from work today and I saw 6, 7, 8 people out walking their dog. My wife walks our dog. My dad walks our dog. To think that that's not a safe thing to do anymore? This is Britain in 2025. What the heck is going on? And of course, it had to be an illegal immigrant. Of course, it had to be someone who came to this country, was given the hospitality of this country, leave to remain, asylum, and then goes and kills someone whilst walking their dog. It genuinely makes me sick. My blood is boiling right now. I am so angry and scared. This is the state of not only London, but the country right now, and nothing seems to be done. And remember, this comes just days after the Epping migrant sex offender who was convicted for sexually assaulting a child. That sparked all of those protests outside the Epping Bell Hotel that everybody says was far-right protests and thugs jumping on the immigration bandwagon. Well, guess what? They were right. They were right to call the guy out as a sex offender and as someone who was a criminal because he was found guilty. Well, he was sent to jail and mistakenly let out. That's the state of this country. And we've all seen the video of David Whammy a couple of days later in Parliament, dragged to answer questions by Robert Jenrick. And he's laughing. He's there just laughing. It genuinely makes me so sick. And what we had over the weekend, he escaped, he came to London, police were literally asking the public and the criminal to hand themselves in. And I won't say his name. I refuse to say his name. And now that he's been arrested and put back into custody, the government says, oh, we're going to make sure we deport him. Well, you could have done that in the first blooming place, right? How many other people is this happening to? How many other instances are there like this? Because we've got, on one hand today, someone who's claimed asylum, been given asylum and leave to remain in this country, killing a person. And on the other hand, we've got someone who's been a sexual assault, who sexually assaulted a child in this country, who said he wanted to be deported, being let out of jail early. And then to come even closer to home, right? If Uxbridge wasn't enough, Edgware Lane in Edgware, and I'm just going to make sure we get this right, armed police arrested 3 teenage boys in a raid in Edgware and Colindale. Several armed officers were seen in Edgware Lane at around noon today as part of a warrant executed. The road was shut for some hours. 1 age 16 and 2 age 17 were arrested on suspicion of robbery in connection with an ongoing robbery investigation. They've been taken into custody and the investigation continues, the Met Police says. Literally round the corner. Literally round the corner. Armed police. That is the state of Britain right now. That is the state of London specifically as well, where crime has gone through the roof. And you know whose fault it is? It is the Mayor of London, who is also the Police and Crime Commissioner for London, Sadiq Khan. I'm genuinely so sick of it. I've forgotten and lost track of how many times I've said the world's going mad. This is crazy. It doesn't feel safe. How many times have you said that? How many times have you said in a conversation recently about whatever it is, the world's going mad? How many times? How many friends and family members do you know who've said, oh, there was a crime the other day, or did you see this, or did you see that? It is getting closer and closer to home. And what do we see? A government that scrapped the Rwanda deterrent, which I know a flight hadn't taken off. I've made that very clear every time I've gone on Talk and GB. I've explained, yes, no flights took off. But the numbers were down. The numbers were down. 33% drop in the number of people crossing the channel because they were scared of going to Rwanda. That's a deterrent. That's what works. So much so that Ireland was saying that could they deport people who had come to Ireland because they didn't want to be in Britain because of the risk of going to Rwanda? Could they deport them back to Britain? And thankfully we said no. But this is the state of the country now. Labour scrapped the Rwanda plan on day one. They never came up with their own one. Now they've got this one-in, one-out system, which we have seen just last week. Someone who came in, was deported on the one-out system, and came back again in a boat. You couldn't make it up. That is the state of things right now. And I'm so done with it. I'm done with trying to, bite my tongue and stay quiet. I'm done with trying to play party lines, defend this, support that. And this isn't a dig at any one or any person in particular. It is purely the state of things. We need politicians, public figures, and people in positions to start saying things as they are. I've said it years ago. We need to talk more common sense. We need to start calling a spade a spade. We need to start being honest. And that's the idea of this, right? People have said to me for a long time, why haven't I started a podcast? Why haven't I started a show? Why haven't I done things? Why haven't I done more? All this sort of stuff. That's what this is about, right? It's called Matthew's Blueprint for Britain. And what it is going to be is exactly that. It is going to talk about the things that you care about. It's going to talk about the politics of the day, of the week, of the month. And it is going to say the alternative, a different vision for what it could be. And I tell you this now. There will be no party politics allegiances on this. Yes, I'm a Conservative councillor. Yes, I'm a Conservative member. But I tell you now, I will not be sitting here defending every single thing the Conservatives have done and pointing the finger at everybody else. Because that is not what this country needs. I've said time and time again, on Talk, on GB, on the shows that I do, yes, there's a lot that Reform say that I agree with. And I do. Because Reform are saying what others are scared to say. And that's what I will do on this. I will say what has to be said, and I don't care what people come after me as. I've said it before. Call me racist, call me sexist, call me whatever is phobia or whatever you want to do. I don't care, because you will get honesty. You'll get honesty from me. And yes, there may be the odd finger pointed at people like Sadiq Khan. Well, he blooming deserves it. There may well be the finger pointed at Two-Tier Keir. He deserves it too. But I'll also hold my hands up. I'm not a Conservative MP. I haven't been a Conservative MP. I wasn't part of the Conservative government of the last 14 years. But I'll hold my hands up. At the end of the government, we lost control. We could not fix the things and issues that were facing Britain at the time. We could not address the problems that people cared about. And so what happened on the 4th of July 2024? We got kicked out of government. That's accountability. That is democracy. If you aren't happy with the government of the day, get rid of them. And that's what happened. So yes, I hold my hands up to that. The Conservative Party messed up. They're renewing, rebuilding, whatever we want to call it. They're trying, and we are trying to change things. But right now, right this second, it's Labour who are in charge. And so I absolutely, and I remember saying this vividly on one of my shows, I think it was probably the week after the general election. I remember saying, we have a Labour super majority. They can do whatever they want, frankly. Labour could rip up this country tomorrow. They could change any law like that. And it is possible. Don't let them say it's not. It's possible. Governments can change heaven and earth, can move mountains when they want to. Labour have a supermajority right now. It is for the sake of all of us and the benefit of Britain that Labour do well. And my God, they're not. And so we've seen the rise of reform. We've seen reform go to 30, 35% in the polls. Yes, people are angry. They don't trust the Conservatives again. They are fed up of Labour already, and it's only been 14 months. They want something new. And that's where reform comes in. It's saying we're going to do things differently. I get it. I completely get it. And I agree with a lot of things that are said. But that's what this is going to be. And the other thing it will be is short. It's just gone 10 minutes. That's it. I'm not going to sit here for hours and hours rambling through the state of this country because it will just get my blood pressure through the roof. But I will make sure that what you care about, I care about. What you want said, I'll say. That is what this is. And together, we will come up with a blueprint for Britain. We will come up with a plan, a vision, a hope for where this country could go. This great, great country. I deck myself in Union Jacks. I have flags in my room, behind me there. Frankly, I'd get it tattooed if I could. I love this country. I love, love, love Great Britain. But it isn't great right now. If anything, it's far from it. And we have got to change that. And our politicians have got to start listening. I'm one of them. I'm a local councillor. I represent Hatch End Ward. I love it. I absolutely love it. Walking down the street, reporting fly tipping, getting potholes filled in, just saying hello to local neighbours. I love it. I genuinely love being a face that people can know and come to for support. But we need more. We need that from MPs, from London Assembly members, from mayors, from prime ministers. We need more. And that's what this is going to be. That is my blueprint for Britain. A Britain that genuinely gets things done. And right now, I'm furious at the state of crime and lawlessness in this country. On just one day, where we've had 3 stories about crime dominate the headlines. So I guess that's episode 1, or that's an introduction. I don't know. Let's see where this goes. It's a bit of fun, and it's a chance to say it as it is. I'm going to have guests. I'm going to have people I'll interview. You tell me what you want to listen to. And I'll make sure that we keep this short and sweet. That sort of time that you can listen to on the train or on the bus. That time you can listen to when you're walking with the dog, safe, in a brilliant country that looks after you and cares and deals with criminals. That's the Britain I want. So this is Matthew's Blueprint for Britain with me, Matthew Goodman Freeman, and make sure that you tell me what you want, and I'll get on with recording another episode. Ta-ra.